Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Julius DeBerry with Majestic Studios, and I got another video for you today. The last few weeks, maybe months, maybe longer, I've been seeing comments and statements on forums where people have been looking for a way to trigger chords from pads on some of their keyboards, namely the Chord Nautilus. They don't have the ability to do the chording within the Nautilus like they had on the Chronos. There were some on-screen pads. If you're familiar with the Chord Chronos, there are some on-screen pads that you could utilize to trigger chords from the keyboard, where you could pre-program the notes for the chords and trigger them directly from the screen. Well, they took that away in the Chord Nautilus, and so people have been wondering if there was a way to essentially trigger chords from pads within the keyboard, but it's not there. So I knew that there was ability to trigger from external MIDI, but I just wasn't completely positive on the way to get it going. So I went looking for a MIDI pad program for iPad. I don't know if everybody has an iPad, but I know it's widespread enough to where this could be a viable solution for people who need pads, even if you had to get an older iPad, but just finding a MIDI solution that will work. And in that research looking, I found a really dope app that is free on the iOS store. So I wanted to do a quick review of it just as a precursor for the video that's coming later for my Chord Nautilus followers, the people that are subscribing to me because of that. So I wanted to do this video as a precursor for them so they could go ahead and get this application downloaded and become a little familiar with it. This app is called Dreamfoot, and it's on the iOS store, and it is free. There are a lot of apps out there that do similar functionality, maybe better functionality, even than this app, but this app does everything I feel that you would need as far as triggering chords from your keyboard via MIDI. So I'm just going to talk about the app just a little bit. I'm just going to kind of step through it. Hopefully you guys benefit from this and you can utilize this in your workflow. I'm not going to talk about song mode. I'm going to talk about jam mode, but before I get there, I'm going to kind of go over some of the settings as far as setting this up to work for your keyboard. I'm going to just first off talk about these 4 tabs across the top. Actually only 3 of them that I had to use. The sound tab is where there's a collection of instruments that is pre-built into this app. So when you're working with your chords, you can hear the sound that the chords are making while you're working on the chords. So mine came with five sounds: dance stab, organ pad, pluck pad, shimmer pad, and warm pad. So those are just some sounds that you guys could pick from to use. I had mine on mute because I was triggering sounds from an external keyboard, the Chord Nautilus. And so I had mine on mute, but if you want to hear what the sounds sound like if you don't have it connected to something, you can utilize these sounds to hear what they sound like. Okay. The next one, well, I guess the sustain tab, you would just push this button, and once you play a note, it would just sustain the chord or the note out until you turn the sustain off. I guess that's so you don't have to keep pushing the play button to trigger the chord. So I guess that could be beneficial for some people as well when you're programming. All right, so what you want to be able to do is you want to go to this settings tab here, and you're going to choose the MIDI channel that you're triggering externally as far as your keyboard is concerned. You can go from MIDI channel 1 through 16. And then you can also select what your MIDI in device is and your MIDI out device is. So if you have a external MIDI keyboard that you're going to trigger notes from within the app, then you would select that for MIDI in. You would select that if it's connected via USB to this to the app, you would select that MIDI in device here. And then the MIDI out device will be selected here. And this is telling that MIDI out device is telling the Dreamfoot application to send MIDI out of the app through USB to whatever your device is, and it will trigger sounds from that device. All right, then you have Bluetooth MIDI, which is if you have some type of wireless way that you want to connect Bluetooth and MIDI at the same time. You can trigger MIDI through Bluetooth from this app. And then there's advanced MIDI settings as well. So let's get on into where I think this app is really cool. So if you go to the jam section, you can add chords to your song, or not to your song. You can add chords to the app. So there is a factory chording where they will take you through a series of like question and answers, basically, as you complete or create your chord. Or you can go to custom chord, and if you go to custom chord, in this area is where you can just push the notes. So if I wanted to do an F major 7 chord, I would just push F, A, C, and E. Okay. When you push play, if your MIDI is triggering, like I don't have anything hooked up for this review, it will trigger the sound for the chord at that moment. All right. You enter the chord's name, and once you enter the chord's name, so I'll put F major 7. Once I have the chord's name in, I'm able to push this button here, and it adds that chord to the squares here. And there are 4 squares on 2 rows, so 8 squares, and then you have 4 different banks. So that would be 32. That would be 32 pads that you can have chords saved as far as this app is concerned. So that's the first way, is going about it with and as you see when I click the note, it shows the chord that I played. And if the MIDI was being triggered, it would trigger it externally as well. Or if I had the sounds, let's see if I put a sound here, if we can hear anything. Let's go to warm pad. Let me see, turn that on. So if I trigger the chord here, you guys should be able to, you should hear that now. The audio for that, I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit. So now that I'm going to trigger this F major 7 chord, and you should be able to hear the sound because I now have a sound selected, warm pad. Okay. All right, so that's how that works. That's with the custom chords. So how the factory chords work is pretty cool as well. So it actually what the root name of your chord is, and so you would pick, I'm just gonna put F. And so then I can say from F, do I want it to be F sharp or F flat? I can put F sharp. And so now it selects F sharp. If I had selected F flat, it would have gone down to E in a harmonic. I'm going to put F major and then select major here. You can select, so within each one of these little blocks, you can select one or other of the answer. That's why I said it's kind of like a question and answer. So I put F major, and it wouldn't, because I put major, it wouldn't let me select suspended 4 or sus 4 or augmented. You can only select one of these at a time. So I'm going to put F major. And if I play it, you should be able to hear that chord play. Then in this next box, we can say, do we want to make F major 7, F major flat 7, or F major 6? Let's go F major 6, so it should add the D. Yep. And now I should hear an F major 6 chord. You can flat the 5, sharp the 5. So it's just giving you all kind of options as far as creating the type of chord you're trying to create. And so if I had the sustain on and I just pushed it, I'm not hearing it sustain. It's not sustaining. So, so you can go within each one of these boxes like I'm doing and just create your chord. All right. And every time you add an option, it updates the chord there. You can push this arrow at the top right or left to see more of the keys. All right, and you can hold this down and change the chord, and you can hear it change as you move. You can hear the chord change as you go about. But you can also do your inversions. You can also select inversion, as in which note you want on the bottom. And I think that may change. That changes depending on what notes you have in the chord, of course. So we have the F major 6 flat 9 chord, and I'm going to put the A on the bottom. So you can hear that changes how it sounds depending on what notes you have on the bottom. You can also decide if you want to put the bass note in it, and it's in scale degrees based on your root note. So F, it'll be F major. So we can say F, G, A. Well, you can have 2 notes in it at a time. Forgot about that. F, G, A, B flat, C, D, and then the 7 is E major or E. E natural, excuse me, and then 8 would be the octave F. And so when you play that, you can hear those notes in the chord update. All right, and then the last thing, you have the choice to choose the octave of the chord, so it'll determine where in the degree, which octave it's playing the chord in. The lowest octave would be 1, then 2, all the way up to the highest octave, which would be 5. All right, so that is the gist of this app. And once you're done creating a chord, you push this app here, and it updates the chord into your banks. All right, and when you're done, you're going to push this button here. When you've gotten all of your chords that you would like to trigger set up, you're going to push this button here, and you're going to save it. Once you give it a name, you can save it. So I'm going to put test 2, and it has it down as test 2. And so my chords are there. If I want to delete this, I can push this X, and it will delete the chord. Delete current jam preset. Are you sure you want to delete the current jam preset? If not, tap cancel and enter a name for the song to save it. So you enter a name, and then it keeps it, and you are good to go. So I just wanted to do a quick rundown. This is a really cool app, and like I said, it's free. There were a lot of options in the App Store, the Apple App Store. Some of them charged. Most of them charged in-app purchases, and some of them were upfront fees. But I think this is a cool app that you guys can download. And if you are watching this because you are a Nautilus subscriber or a subscriber because of Nautilus, you guys should go ahead and download this app because there's another video coming right behind this very soon that is going to talk about setting this specific app up with the Nautilus in order to get you guys some USB Midi, and you're able to trigger your sounds, trigger your chords from this app that will give you the same functionality as the Chord Chronos. So I hope you guys enjoy it. If you are new to the channel and you're here because of this app, I talk about audio technology and all things related to it. So that's computer software, computer hardware, keyboards, software, as you see here. Please like, share, subscribe, come back, ask some questions, leave some comments, and we can talk about it. I've also updated a super thanks button in my channel. If the apps, not the apps, but if the channel is helping you, the videos, you're benefiting from them, please consider leaving a super thanks for me. Any donations you give will help the channel continue to grow and also enable me to continue making great content like this for you guys. So until the next video, we'll see you guys later, and I hope you have a great day. We're out.